Listen to me very carefully. There is a specific window of time that closes at the end of May, and if you miss it, you will have to wait exactly 1 full year before you get another opportunity like this. I'm not talking about some artificial deadline that a marketer created to pressure you into buying something. I'm talking about an actual cosmic and spiritual deadline that has been governing wealth cycles for thousands of years. The ancient rabbis understood this. They mapped it. They documented it in the Talmud and in the Kabbalistic texts. And right now, whether you know it or not, you are living inside one of the most powerful wealth-building windows of the entire year. If you use May correctly, you can position yourself for exponential wealth in the coming 12 months. If you waste May like most people do, you will spend the next year playing catch-up, while others are already ahead. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what needs to happen before May 31st, and you will know the specific practices that turn this deadline into your breakthrough. The secret I'm about to reveal has kept wealthy families ahead for 3,000 years, while everyone else struggles with the same problems over and over again. Let me tell you about 2019. I was working with a wealthy businessman in New York, a man named David, who had built a successful real estate empire. He came to me in early May looking stressed and unfocused. He told me his year felt stagnant. He wasn't closing deals like he normally did. His energy was scattered. I asked him, "Did you do the May reset?" He looked at me confused. He had no idea what I was talking about. So I explained the ancient principle, and I gave him 3 specific practices to implement before May ended. He was skeptical, but he did them anyway. By June 1st, something shifted. He closed 3 deals that had been stalled for months. By the end of that year, he had his best financial year ever. He made more money in that single year than in the previous 3 years combined. When I asked him what changed, he said, "I don't know if it was the practices or just timing, but something definitely shifted on June 1st. That's because something did shift. The cosmic cycle turned, and he was positioned correctly to receive it because he had done the May work." I've seen this pattern repeat thousands of times over my 3 decades of studying Jewish wealth principles. People who honor the May deadline experience explosive growth. People who ignore it spend 12 months spinning their wheels. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is operating according to actual universal laws that most people are completely ignorant of. The Talmud teaches that each month has a specific energetic frequency. May, specifically, is the month of transition, reset, and repositioning. I need to stop here for a moment. What I'm about to share changed my life, and it's already changing thousands of others. I've put everything into the Jewish Money Code, 3 complete books with all the rituals, prayers, and ancient principles that wealthy Jewish families have protected for generations. This isn't just a video. This is the beginning. If you want the complete system, the link is in the description and pinned in the first comment. It's the bridge between spring and summer. In Jewish tradition, May contains the counting of the Omer, a sacred period where ancient Israelites prepared themselves spiritually and materially for the next harvest. Modern people have completely abandoned this wisdom, and they wonder why their financial lives feel chaotic and unpredictable. I grew up watching my grandfather, who was one of the most respected rabbis in Jerusalem, use May as his most strategic month. Every May, he would stop everything. He would review the previous year. He would identify what worked and what didn't. He would clarify his intentions for the next 12 months. He would perform specific spiritual practices to align himself with the coming cycle. And without fail, the year following his May reset would be his most prosperous year. When I was younger, I didn't understand why he made such a big deal about 1 month. I thought he was being superstitious. But as I got older and started applying these principles myself, I realized he wasn't being superstitious at all. He was being strategic. He was understanding something that most financial advisors completely miss. The timing of your actions matters just as much as the actions themselves. When I was 28 years old, I ignored this principle. I thought I was too modern, too educated, too rational to believe in cosmic cycles and spiritual deadlines. I let May pass without doing any of the required practices. I didn't reset, I didn't realign. I just kept grinding with the same energy I had carried from the previous months. And you know what happened? My year stalled. I made decent money, but nothing exceptional. I missed opportunities that I should have seen. I made decisions that I later regretted. Most frustrating of all, people who had been behind me financially suddenly passed me. They weren't smarter than me. They weren't working harder than me. The only difference was that they had honored the May deadline and I hadn't. That was the last time I ignored this principle. Since then, I have never let May pass without doing the complete reset and realignment. And without fail, my life has expanded in ways that seemed impossible 12 months earlier. Now, I know exactly what you might be thinking. You're thinking, Rabbi, this sounds interesting, but I'm skeptical. I've heard about cosmic cycles and lunar phases and all kinds of spiritual timing, and half of it seems like superstition. I understand your skepticism. In fact, I respect it. But let me tell you something. The Talmud doesn't ask you to believe blindly. The Talmud asks you to test. The Talmud says, if you want to know if something is true, implement it and observe the results. So I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to test this. Give May your complete attention. Do the practices I'm going to teach you. And then observe what happens to your life in the subsequent 12 months. The results will speak for themselves. The reason most people experience repeated financial struggles year after year is because they're trying to build their future while still carrying the momentum and energy patterns from their past. I have to pause here because thousands of you have already downloaded the Jewish Money Code collection, and the messages I'm receiving are incredible. People paying off debt, attracting unexpected money, finally breaking the cycle of poverty. These 3 books contain everything: the rituals, the prayers, the mindset shifts, the daily practices, the complete system. The link is waiting for you in the description. Every day you wait is another day stuck in the same patterns. Now, let me share the most powerful secret. They don't reset. They don't realign. They just keep pushing forward with the same consciousness, the same habits, the same energy that got them stuck in the first place. It's like trying to steer a ship that's already moving full speed in the wrong direction. You can't just turn the wheel and expect it to change course immediately. You have to stop the ship. You have to realign the navigation. You have to reset the entire trajectory. That's what May is for. The Talmud teaches a principle called Binyan Adam Min Hatakila, which means rebuilding from the foundation. This principle states that the most powerful time to rebuild your life is during periods of natural transition. May is one of those periods. It's not just any month. May is the threshold between 2 seasons. It's the doorway between spring growth and summer manifestation. The ancient Israelites understood this. They used this month to transition from preparation to action, from planting to harvesting. Modern people have completely disconnected from these natural cycles, and as a result, their lives feel random and chaotic. They wonder why some people seem to have all the luck, while others struggle constantly. The difference is that some people understand timing, and others don't. Everything I am teaching you in this video is only the beginning. If you are serious about fully understanding the complete 12-month wealth cycle and how to position yourself correctly at every threshold, I wrote a book called The Ancient Wealth Code. It contains the complete system, all 10 principles that Jewish families have used for 3,000 years to build, protect, and pass down wealth from generation to generation. But more importantly, it teaches you the seasonal strategy for wealth. It shows you not just what to do, but when to do it for maximum impact. You'll learn why May is the critical month, how to use June through December after you've properly reset, and how to prepare for the next May cycle. This is not theory. This is the exact playbook that wealthy families have guarded for centuries. It is available right now in the description below and pinned in the first comment. Go get your copy today, because knowledge about timing without implementation is worthless. Let me explain why May specifically is so critical. In the Jewish calendar, May contains two major transitions. First, it contains the end of Passover, which is the celebration of liberation and freedom. Passover teaches that you can break free from anything that enslaves you. Second, May contains the counting of the Omer, which is a 50-day period where the ancient Israelites spiritually and materially prepared themselves for receiving the Torah, which represents the ultimate knowledge and prosperity. This isn't just religious ritual. This is spiritual technology that has been tested for thousands of years. When you observe this timing, when you align your consciousness with these transitions, you access exponential power. Here's what happens energetically during May. At the beginning of May, you're still carrying the momentum and patterns from the previous months. Your consciousness is still partly anchored in winter and spring energy, which is introspective, receptive, quieter energy. But as May progresses, the energy begins to shift. The earth is warming. The days are getting longer. Things are starting to manifest physically that were planted earlier. And at the end of May, there's a major threshold. If you've done the right spiritual and strategic work during May, you cross that threshold into summer aligned, energized, and positioned for abundance. If you haven't done the work, you cross that threshold still carrying all your old patterns, all your old limitations, and all